Okay, so thank you for coming. So today we will be talking about a topic here. The topic that might not that is not become an interest for many people because not so many people likes to do some typings and then doing some programming. People tends to like things that is just a click here and there and then type here and there with a nice user interface, graphical user interface. But today we'll be talking about scripting, okay, which is a feature from RouterOS where you can do many things with your own um, device. Okay, right. So my name is Ahmad Mardiansyah, and then I'm from GLC Networks, of course. Yes. Oh, okay. I forgot to put my email address here. Really? Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I forgot it. Yeah, 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 yeah. So, yeah, that's why I saw something missing here. So let me update the slides. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, agenda. Intro and then the review and then um, yeah, talking about the RouterOS and then RouterOS scripting. So I need to update this one. Okay, and then what is GLC for those who are new? So we are GLC, Garda Lintas Cakrawala. We are based in Bandung, Indonesia. Our areas are training and IT consulting. We do MikroTik, Ubiquiti, Linux, and programming. We have a product, GLC Billing Radius Manager. So we forgot to put the billing here. So yeah, it's its own product to manage your customer invoice. We do regular events like webinar, and now we do webinar uh, 2 times a week. Okay, yes, sometimes 2 times, but minimum is 1 time, which is every Thursday. Okay, so this is me. My name is Achmad. I'm from Bandung. I'm Linux user. Okay, I'm MikroTik user, Ubiquiti user, actually Cisco user, database user, PostgreSQL, PHP user, Python user, many users. Yeah, I do teaching for living, certified trainers for most of the for all MikroTik courses, certified consultant, and then guys, if you have LinkedIn, then we can connect here. Okay, so you just type my name on LinkedIn and then we can connect. I would like to connect with you guys. So past experience, oh, okay, it's 2022. Okay, yeah, same thing, actually. We do network support, radios and billing integrations, network upgrade, and so on and so forth. Okay. Uh, yeah, network revamp, doing programming here and there in several countries. Okay. We do webinar every week now. We start the webinar since 2010, but yeah, after that, sometimes we do the webinar because at that time it was not popular, and then we were very busy at that time. So since 2 years back, we do webinar more often. Now we do webinar minimum of one webinar per week. Okay. So if you do have a topic, and then yeah, please join us with the webinar. We do collaboration webinar, and then we have done several times. Please join us. Okay, please introduce yourself. So yeah, thank you very much. So thank you for those who already introduced yourself here. I can see some people are from Philippines. Okay, thank you. From EWS. I don't know. Maybe it's a company. Eliezer, Eliezer. Okay, from Israel. Oh, okay. Thank you. Samuel from Nigeria. Others, I believe you are from Indonesia. Okay, so just introduce yourself. Just let me know where you are from. Okay. Bimo from Philippines. Okay, okay. Thank you for coming. So prerequisite. I forgot to update this one. So yeah, the prerequisite for this topic is you already have experience with programming. Okay, either Linux programming or other programming. So at least we know some ideas about what's going on when you type a command in MicroTik RouterOS. Okay, I think I need to update them. RouterOS command line interface. RouterOS scripting. Okay. Okay, so that was it. So let's review. Before we go further, usually we know that there are two types of programming. First is scripting and compiling. Okay, so scripting requires interpreter. Its execution is execute the files with the interpreter. Result is you write your code with the text file. For example, we have a PHP, Bash, Shell, script, Python script, router, including RouterOS. Okay. For compiling, you need to do compilation first before you execute the files. Okay, and then the results usually either binary files or object files like a Java. So, for example, C, Java, I mean bytecode. Sorry. Yeah, other stuff. Yeah, yeah, C, Java. Uh, I don't know. That's what I think for so far. Um, oh, okay. I have a chat here. Eliezer from Israel. Okay, work as sysadmin. Oh, okay. As the largest ISP. Oh, okay. Thank you. I don't know. I was wondering, is that in your ISP? Are they using Linux as well? Oh, I mean MikroTik as well. So you can share experience here. Have experience with MikroTik with mainly for end user. Okay, thank you for coming, Eliezer. So yeah, let's review. So if you have basic programming things, so at least these are some basics skills that you need to know. Okay, so we have a variables where you can assign a value on it. Okay, so this is the value, and then you assign the value into a variable. So this is a variables. Okay, and then you can do a calculations. Okay, and then we have a command here. For example, print, and then you print a variables. Okay, and you can do operations like what you are doing here. Okay, and then sometimes the variables can contain more than one value. That one usually we can call it the array or tuple or dictionary. Okay, and then uh, yeah, loop. Yeah, this is also important. Usually we have two types of loop iterations. One for infinite, I mean finite. Okay, for example, this is for infinite. So it depends on the conditions. Okay, so for if you use for loop, and then you have an idea that you will be doing iteration for X number of times. Okay, 10 times, 12 times, 15 times. Okay, so that's for finite, and then the iteration is already clear in the beginning. But for while loop, it's not. Okay, so that's the big difference between them. Um, Next is we do procedural execution. So yeah, sometimes if you do scripting, most likely the execution is done sequentially. Okay, so it is easy to understand, faster implements, it's natural. You just write a code from top to bottom and then you read it in the same manner as well. So the program lines can be very long, so you need the way to architect the the program so that you can manage your code physically and then manage your application logic. Okay, so usually we combine when we set up when we do programming, we generate features. Okay, and then in order to generate features, in order to work efficiently, usually we set up a functions. Yeah. Okay, so function over here. So this is how you define the functions. This is some codes from Python. Okay, so this is Python code, and then you can just call the function names, and then you put the arguments over here. While from the functions point of view, they will receive parameters. Okay, so like you are passing the data, and then the function will receive the data and doing some calculations. All right. Okay. So that's the idea about functions. If you have lots of functions, and then usually you put all of your functions into library. So you just import one library, and then inside the library there are lots of things that you can use. Okay. Yeah, now let's talk about the RouterOS CLI. So RouterOS CLI means as command line interface. So all MikroTik hardware runs ROS. ROS means router operating system. It's running on router on switches, but that depends. Not all switches are running ROS. ROS has its own shell. Okay, so this is important. So sometimes I got the questions. I already set up a script on Linux. Can I implement it on MikroTik? No, it's not, because they are using different shell. Okay, so they are not compatible. Uh, okay, so modes. If you access the command line, that depends. So it's not like Cisco where you have to enable things. Okay, in MikroTik it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so you have a user rights, and then that is put into a group. So in the group you define the permissions, and then the rights will be there. Here's you can do here and there. Okay, the menu structure, place determines command structure. Okay, so a menu. So usually if you have a router OS, you access router OS on Winbox, so you have a menu on the left. Usually the path for the menu is similar to the command that you type on the command line. Okay, sorry. So this is command line. This is the basis for command. Okay, so here's the syntax. So you do menu, and then sometimes you type the submenu, for example, IP. After IP, and then you type address, and then you type a verb here, aka command, and then here's the parameters. Okay, the nice thing on MikroTik is you have auto completion feature, so that you don't have to type the whole command. So you just type tab, and then yeah, the command will be the system will be give you a suggestion about the next the suggestion about the completion and commands if it is more than one. If it's already unique, and then it's just complete the whole command. Okay, the word. Okay, so that's how you do the command line. So this is command line structure, as I said. So you have a prefix and then the path. Okay, so prefix, either you have a colon or slash. Okay, and then here's the path of the menu. Okay, see, So menu plays important role, and that is the command, yeah, command over here, and then the parameters, and then the another parameters, and then so on and so forth. So this is how you do um, the command lines in the MikroTik. Okay, so perhaps I can show some examples, or maybe later. No. Okay, maybe this one. Okay, so this is my testing router OS. Okay, so perhaps you can see it here. Just testing 1 or 2. Okay, so you can either use a slash if it is part of the menu. Okay, so slash. Oops. Oh, okay. So I'm still in the editing mode or annotation mode, so I need to change it. So slash IP address slash IP. See, I'm using tab here, address, and then tab. So as you can see, if you see cyan color here, okay, so that means it's a menu. If you see purple color, that means it's a command. Okay, so yeah, that's so if you do wants to do a scripting, and then you need to be um, able to use a command line. Okay, IP address, so you can do print, for example, yeah, and then here's green color is for parameters. Okay, here, so it's done. Print, and then you can type it like this. Okay, or you can do some filtering, for example, where interface equals to ether1. Yeah, so this is kind of filtering, or you can use find. Oh, sorry, IP address. Yeah, find. Yeah, interface ether1. Yeah, so find means you are looking for a ID for that interface. So that's the difference between find and where. So where usually it's used for filtering, okay, but find usually we use it to find the ID. Okay, so internal ID of that particular interface. So we have an IP address over here. Okay, and then actually we have an ID of this entry. Yeah, so entry number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is no number over here, but when we display, so there is a number 0, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the find command is to find the ID over here, but the internal ID. Okay, so that's how the command line structure in the MikroTik. And the command line structure, yeah, so we have prefix, either colon or slash. Colon means it indicates the variables, okay, or if you are using a command mode or scripting mode, okay, usually we use colon instead of slash. Slash means for command. So this one here is for scripting. Okay, so if you do scripting, usually most likely you will use colon. Okay, so this is most common command. So as I explained earlier, as I show you in the demo, so sometimes you can do add, remove, enable, disable, set, set the parameters, okay, and get the parameters, print, and after the print, and then usually you have where, okay, export, edit, and find, okay. So find the internal number as I said here, okay. Any questions so far? No? Okay. So here's the print parameter. So one of the command here is print, right? And then after print, and then you have parameters over here. The questions is what are the parameters available for print? Yeah. Can you make zoom? Zoom the, well, yeah, I use lots of tags here, so I'm sure you can zoom here. I don't know, but anyway, I will share the slides on Slideshare, so you can download it to yourself. So yeah, back to print command. So you have print, and then after print, usually you do other stuff as well. For example, append as value, brief, okay, and so on and so forth over here. Okay, so this is the one that I was using it. Yeah, without paging, value list, tears, interval from, well, that depends. Okay, so this is an example. Okay, follow. So if you are using log and then you want to follow, yeah. Files usually is for output. That depends. Okay, so count only. So only counts how many entries that you display, for example. Details, brief as value, append, so on and so forth. Okay, so that was the print parameters. And then, okay, so let's dive into the RouterOS scripting itself. Yeah, this one we already discussed previously. Yeah, so first is variables. Yeah, variables. So we have a scope, either it's local or global. So if you use global, and then you will see system, script, and then environments. Okay. So let me share my screen, my RouterOS screen over here. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. I haven't shared the stuff. Okay. So as you can see, this is scripting. Sorry. Script menu, system scripts. Okay. So I can display system scripts, environment, print. So it's nothing there. So if you do global, blah, so this is the variable name, and then you assign hello world, for example, and then there will be something over here. Okay, so that's the global variables that is created after you use a global command here. Okay, so that's the value. Okay. Okay, any questions so far? No? Yeah. So yeah, it's not that hard. We can continue. So yeah, this is very common in programming language, right? So yeah, I don't see any something new here. So scope, if you talk about variables, usually we talk about scope, either it's local or global. Local means the local variable is only visible in the next command line in your session, okay, in your script, okay. But in global, other script can also able to access it. and then usually we use colon put to print the variable value. Okay, and then of course when we talk about variables, you like it or not, we always talk about the data type. That is numeric, it's a boolean, so it's over here. So these are the data type. Okay, so mostly it's a number, boolean, string, IP. Okay, so this one is quite new. We don't have this data type in Python, for example, because they are not designed for that. We have a prefix, IPv6, IP6, sorry, ID. See, this is an internal ID. So when you print something, and then you will see numbers, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that one is the number that is visible when you do command line. But actually inside them, there is an internal ID that needs to be revealed with the find command. Okay. You have a time, array, and then what is it? Yeah, unassign. So it's like a null in JavaScript, right? So if the line is long, and then you can use backslash over here, right? So actually the script is quite long from here to there. Okay, so you can use backslash so that it can break the scripts so that it won't be long. It's easier to read. Yeah. So for example, this is yeah, and then also comment. Okay. So if you want to put comment, do not put them after here. Okay, so this one is not correct. So you put a new line over here. Okay. Outside of the script. Okay. So here we are doing if. Okay. So the if, and then here's the checking. Is the logic checking, and then after if it is true, and then you do the script. Okay. From here. Okay, yes, we start with the curly braces. Okay, so that's the syntax. Right, so yeah, this one is also important, white spaces between tokens. Yeah, so this one is not correct, especially so MikroTik, sorry. MikroTik is very fussy with this ones here. Okay, so when it close to the assignment operators like equals, there should be no white spaces, so it's going to be like this, like this, like this. Okay, so it is recommended to do it like that. Okay, so I would prefer this one over here. Okay, so this one is not correct. Okay, so this one is okay, it's great. Okay, so remember, yeah, white space. So for those who are coming from Python, maybe this one is not common in Python language. Okay, but it's mandatory for RouterOS. Okay, and then we do operators. Yeah, same thing with other scripting language. You can do plus, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus operation, unary negation. Okay, so these are the operators. And then for logic, okay, for logic, for if you are doing if here and there, here are the operators. Okay, so less or greater, equals, or less or equals. Okay, so the result for this one is always Boolean, right? Either true or false. But this one will result, arithmetic will result number, right? Okay. Also, when we do logical operation, we can apply like not here, and or. Yeah, you know, it's a logic. So this is the inverse. So if it is true and then it becomes false, and it will will return true if both parties are true. Okay, or means if just one is satisfied and then the whole statement is true. Like eat and drink. So it becomes true if both you are doing eat and drink as well. Okay, so both party must be exist. Or means drink or eat. Okay, drink or eat. So if you do drink, that's fine, it's true. If you're doing just eat, that's fine, it's also true. Okay, that's or. You're doing both, that's fine, that's okay. It's become false if you don't do both of them. Okay. And then sometimes we have in here. So this is good. If you are checking one IP address, it becomes a part of one subnet. Okay. So for example, I want to check if this IP address is part of this subnet, right? So it's cool, right? Yeah. Other the software, other scripting language, they don't have this feature. Yes, in Python you are using in. Yeah, there is an in if you have an array. But here my critic already optimized their scripting language so that they include features to check whether a particular IP address is part of a subnet or not. Okay, so let's continue. This is other operators, bitwise operators. So here you do this operator if you are doing what is it? If you are handling IP address with the level of bits. Okay, so you know IP address consists of it depends. IPv4 is 32 bits, IPv6 is 128 bits. Yeah. If you are doing operation with bits like N operators, like you have an IP address and then you have subnet mask, and then you want to do N operation so that you can find the network address. Yeah, so this is the operators that you can use. Okay, so this is AND. Yeah, this is XOR. Okay, so for example, you have this IP address. So please, if you do bitwise operators, please thinking in binary manners. Okay, ones and zeros. Yeah, otherwise you'll get confused. So you have this IP address which is one and zeros, and then here's also subnet one and zeros, and then you will get the subnet mask. I mean the network ID for that one. Okay. Yeah. So always thinking in binary. Okay. Other operators, yes, we do have. For example, if you want to combine things, yeah. In Java we use plus, right? In Java. In Python, I'm not sure. I forgot. Yeah, I need to check because sometimes I switch. I switch between Python and then PHP and then sometimes Java. In PHP, we just use dot, right? For Python, I'm not sure. Do we have to use plus or dot? Yeah, and I mean you can check it later. So if you want to combine two strings, okay, or maybe three strings over here, and then you combine them with dot. Okay, so here we have a comma, so it concatenates, concat. Sometimes we call it concats. So we have two arrays, or add elements into arrays. So here, join there. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes also we do in our command line. We also do operators like this with the square brackets. Okay, so it can only contain the things that inside the square bracket is only one value, which is coming from a variables or a command line. So yeah, you can execute the command line inside, and then you get a value, and then you do something further for after you get the value. Okay, yeah, that's the square brackets, and then here's the bracket. Okay, yeah, it's for grouping. Okay, for grouping operators. And then here's the substitution. Okay, yeah, you mean you already set up global variables a equals to 5, right? So, and then you want to access a variable a here. It means you have to put a dollar and then a. So it's similar like PHP here. PHP is using dollar, right? I have a chat here. I have just seen IP in operation also works in IPv6 subnet. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Maybe they updated their wiki. Yeah, I need to update here as well. Okay, so yeah, that's the examples. Oh yeah, yeah, here's the tilde. Okay, binary operator matches value against POSIX regular expressions. Yeah, here expression. So here, well, I have to say, if you are using this one, or this one here, yeah, sorry, yeah, so this one here, yeah, so this is called regex. Okay, so it means you need to understand the regex a symbol. For example, this is caret, right? Meaning that it starts start the argument, start the lines. Okay, so the lines start with this, and then here's the dollar sign means end, and then we have square brackets means one characters, and so on and so forth, right? Uh, and then here is for array. Okay, get array element by key. Okay, so yeah, so we have an array like this. So this is how we define an array. Okay, so this is key, this is value, this is key, this is value. Okay, so I want to get uh, a value of an entry where the key equals to a. Okay, and then here's the results. Okay. Next is global command. Yeah, as I said, in RouterOS, first time you start your command with colon here or slash. Okay, slash means root menu, dot means up one level. Okay, if you don't know what you're doing, you can type here question mark. You can put a global, local is for a scope for your variables. beep, you do beeping. Okay. Sometimes I saw some people, they you know, in the MikroTik they have beeper. Okay, and then you can set up a frequency over here and then length, and then they can make a song with with that beeper. Yes, yes, it's possible. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Yeah, people are creative. They can do it, and then MikroTiks uh, allow you to do that. Here's a delay. Okay, sometimes we need that. Put, length, type of. This is also important to check the data type. Yeah, because we cannot do calculation or arithmetic operation with the strings, right? So both a variable has to be a numeric data type. Okay, here's a pick, log, and time. Yeah, global commands. Yeah, set, find, environment, terminal, so on and so forth. So we have discussed this. Yeah, this one also useful for in other language we usually call casting. So casting means we convert the data type from one type to the other type. Yeah. So for example, from variables from a data type to array to booleans, right? So for example, we have one and zeros. Usually we can convert them into booleans. Zero usually false, one equals to true. Yeah. To ID, okay, to internal ID, to IP, to IP6, to integer, to string, and then to time. Okay, so those are some casting capability on RouterOS. Okay, so here we do loop. Yeah, so yes, it's. I think this one is quite similar to PHP. Yeah, they don't have while do. Here what they can do is do while. Okay, so you do something first. Okay, with this command, and then while condition is true, and then you do blah 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 blah. Okay, so you do the commands while the condition true, or same thing. So here you have two options. Sorry, my bad. So either you can do and while, or you can do while and then do. Yeah, so same thing. Yeah. If the steps already clear, you want to do a certain number of operations, and then usually you can use for here. Okay, so for and then you define. Usually we define three S's for this one. First is start, stop, and then step. Right. So you start from here. Okay, and then this is where you stop. Okay, this is where you start, and then this is your step here. Okay, so three S's. For this one, for each, this is for array. Okay, so you need to have an array so that you can implement the for each, similar to what you have in PHP. Next is also important, conditional. Okay, so this is how you write your if code. Okay, so we start with if. We start with this one with the local variables. This is just a local, just to define the scope, and then here's the variable name, and then here's the value. So the type for this variable is bool. So the data type is bool. How do I know? Because this is true. Okay, so either true or false. So if the condition is true, and then we will do this command here. Okay, else we do this one. So I would prefer to use, so after we do, we use brackets, curly bracket like this. And then we need to know that after the equal sign, we have to directly put the brackets, right? But here I put the backslash so that I can use these things in the new line. Okay, so if you set up I mean, this is my style, okay? Not my style. I mean, common. Maybe it was programming style, right? Either you can use either you can use open curly bracket here, or you can use open curly bracket over there. Yeah, but we prefer to use this one because we know that, oh, okay, this is the open brackets and then this is the close bracket in the same indent. All right, and then you put an indent also over here so that we can see it clearly, we can read it clearly. Okay, so which one is sub of the previous command? Okay, well, yes, here we still use braces, yeah, curly braces, to be exact. It's not like Python where we don't have brackets at all, right? Here we still use, but it is recommended to put indent here so that it's an indication that, oh, okay, so this is a block of code where it belongs to a previous statement. Okay. Next is function. Yeah. So function, actually, RouterOS do not support to create functions directly, but you can do some workaround for that. And since version 6.2, syntax is easier to so that you can like mimicking creating a function. So usually you do your functions on top of your script, and then at the bottom you call the name of the function. So for example, this one, this is global. Okay, so this is actually in the form of of yeah. For example, the scope is global, and then here's the name in the name, and then here's the content. Okay, so you do this one. So this is the what the function does. Okay, to put hello world to the to the uh, to the terminal. Okay, and then this is how you this is how you call the function. Okay. Yeah, next, yeah, you set up a function, and then the functions can receive arguments. Wow, that's cool. Okay, but this is how we write the function on in RouterOS, right? So it's not similar to the way we set up a function like in Python or PHP. And then this is how you call the functions. Okay, you call the function name, and then you put here the arguments. Okay, here. Okay. Okay, so next is usually when we set up a functions, we do return a value. Yes, MyCotic can do that by using return uh, keyword. So this is your function name, do, and then you start from here, and then you do return. Okay, so and then this is how you call your functions. Okay, any questions so far? Yeah, so live practice, we have done some functions previously. Yeah, okay, perhaps we can try some scripts. Um, yeah, so the way you set up a script is here. Either you can use a system scripts. Okay, here. Yeah, we have several. Oh, okay. So uh, I have script here. Cool. Okay, so let's run the script. Do you hear the voice? Yeah, it's a song named Balonku. We generate that from the script, and then here's Jablay. Oh, here's another song from, yeah, from Indonesian song. Okay, let's try it. Can you hear? Yeah, so that sound is from MikroTik. Yeah, so that was the place where you put your script here. So you can put here script, and then here you put your commands like global blah, and then here hello world. Okay, it's a very simple script like this, and then apply, and then we delete this one, and then the way you execute the script is system script run, and then what's the name? Script one. Yeah, so here it is. Okay, as simple as that. And then for example, you want to get an IP address of ether1. So IP, let's do that, /IP address get value name is, what is it, address, right? Address number. Okay, so here number, fine, interface equals to ether1. Yeah, so yeah, that's how we get the the address. Okay, so this command, just copy it to memory so that I can modify my script over here. Put here global IP ether1. Okay, and then I put over here okay, and then apply. Let's see that. So we run the same script. Okay, so let's put this one first. Okay, so put, and then here it is. Yeah, so that's the that's the address of ether1. Yeah, okay, so with hours it should be okay. We put the IP address on that. Yeah, it should be okay. So when we run the script, I should be writing something here. Oh, sorry, maybe semicolon for that. Run the script. Oh, it's nothing there. Okay, let's put command. Oh, expected common name. Oh, sorry. Line number 2. Okay. Okay, so line number 1 is okay. Let's see it. Now let's talk about this one here. IP ether 1. Okay. Let's try again. Oh, now it works. Yeah. So the problem here is underscore. Yeah, you cannot do underscore over there. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so it works, man. See, that's the value. Okay. So possibility here is limitless. So it depends on your imagination. Okay. Any questions so far? Yeah, the thing is, in order to have a good scripting, you need to have a good logic so that you can do you can understand the flow of the way you for example you have a task, and then for that task you need to have a flow, so you need to get this one and then compare to that one, and then after that you put the result into these variables, after these variables so you do looping several times and so on and so forth. Okay, any questions so far? Oh, everybody here is very silent. Well, I must say, um, yeah, so this is end of our slide. Thank you for your attention. Yeah, if you have feedback, and then this is our feedback here, I will copy paste this on your group chat so that you can write something. Okay. Oh, I have a chat here. Is there any specific differences between 6 and 7? Not as I'm aware of. Yeah, so I'm using RouterOS version 7, and then for my class, so for my MikroTik class, all are based on version 7 now. And then many routers already migrated to version 7, especially if they are using um, not so advanced features like MPLS, just a normal uh, filter, mangle, NAT, that kind of things that is commonly used in RouterOS or queues. Okay, so back to the um, slide here. Okay, so further events will be available on our website. Yeah, Facebook also a place where we announce our events. Slides will be available on Slideshare. Discord is available in Bahasa Indonesia. Recording will be available on YouTube, and yeah, stay tuned with our schedule. All right, guys. I think it's time. Time is up. Um, yeah, it's time to do what is it? Do photo session? Yeah. So if you don't mind, please open your camera, and then we do photo session up to now, right now. All right. Okay, so I will count 1, 2, 3. What is it? Command, Shift, and 3, right? So for screenshot, is that correct? Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, thumbs up. 1, 2,
Thank
and
you.
3. Yeah. Okay. Once again, 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so hope you guys enjoy the webinar. Uh, and keep safe. And then see you in the next webinar. Thank you and have a nice day. Goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye.